Welcome to the channel, ladies and gentlemen. Coriander, let's do this thing. I'm calling it the Horrorbles Tag. Let's do this,
Yes.
man. Technical issues aside, let's let's do this thing.
Right?
Um, so this is the tag that we created and passed it on to a few people. We did have a few people that did some really good um, answers to these questions, and we wanted to have this out there again because there's a lot of people that we didn't get a chance to let them know about it. So we're redoing it tonight, real quick in the chat, just to see who we've got here. We've got Gorophobe saying, "Hey yo," and
Hello.
it's funny, Gorophobe. I saw that you had asked the question, "What does horribles mean?" You're gonna find
Mm,
out.
yeah.
Ah, all right. Let's see. Who else do we have in here? We've got Eric saying, since night's all for the shameless plugs, we'll be doing Rocky Balboa very soon when we finally get back to the podcast. Now let's get down to brass tacks. Good one,
Nice.
man. Good one. All right. Okay, so let's get down to this thing. So this is the Horrorbles tag where we went through just 10 questions that we thought was pretty interesting. We tried to have a little bit of a different spin on a tag, and hopefully if you're watching this and you did not do it the last time, which was only a couple people that did, but if you're watching this, please, if you get a chance to, please join us in this tag. I mean, there's no pressure except for the pressure that I'm saying, please do it because it will
Right.
definitely help out the channel. Obviously, just giving us credit for starting the tag. But anyways, that's the idea. So let's start with question number one, Coriander. Question number one, what is the worst werewolf movie? Worst werewolf movie. What do
Yeah.
you got?
Yeah. I chose Howling 4.
Yeah, you did. Yes, you did.
Yeah. Yeah. I didn't enjoy this. The cast was terrible and it was just a really dull movie. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, man, the Howling franchise, man. Whew, that just kind of went off the rails a
Yeah.
little bit there. There.
Yeah, it did.
Okay. Well, for me, this was an easy question for me because the movie I chose was a movie that I was so hyped up for, and I was really hoping to see something really, really good. But what I saw was something that was really, really bad. So my choice for worst werewolf movie was An American Werewolf
Yeah.
in Paris. Okay,
That was bad.
and holy shit, how the mighty had fallen. I mean,
Definitely.
the original, I mean, American Werewolf in London, I should say the first, was such a benchmark, so legendary. We've talked about it many times on this channel, and we'll be talking about it some more now that we're re-uploading things and so forth. But that movie was just such a masterpiece of film. This
Yeah.
movie, whew,
Whew,
wow,
he's
man,
right.
it
Hmm.
really went down the tubes there. Let's see who else we got in the chat. We got Cora in the chat from the Harsh Truth. What's going on, Cora? How you doing? How you doing? And you guys definitely check out the Harsh Truth. Cora and Frank and Jeremy, they're really really awesome and big supporters of us, so we really appreciate that. But they're equally very cool. Slasher Fred also in the chat saying, I think that the worst werewolf movie is An American Werewolf in Paris. That movie did not live up to the original. Exactly. You,
Nothing
you feel
could,
my pain. Yeah,
honestly.
right? Uh, Gorophobe said, that's funny. He says the last three Howlings and American Werewolf in Paris. We're seeing a consensus here. That's what we're seeing.
Yeah.
Um, Eric says, I remember not hating Werewolf in Paris, but man, I do remember being disappointed, especially with the CGI. Yeah, man, the CGI. Oh, God, man. I mean, again, I'm not a filmmaker. That's not my thing. So I know that people don't go into making a film with bad intention. They're not trying to make a bad movie. But if you're doing a movie that's following up London, and you're using CGI back when CGI was still very, I mean, it wasn't brand new, but it was still in early phases. What were you
Yeah.
thinking? London was known for great makeup effects and real effects. I mean, so that was just a mistake. It really was.
Yep.
Cora says, not much, just chilling. Cool, awesome. Glad you could join us. So happy you're back on YouTube. Thank you so much. We appreciate that and all the support from all of you guys, and obviously you and the Harsh Truth. We really appreciate the support. We really do. Eric says, damn, all these are worse than Cursed. Looks like I gotta check out the Howling sequels. Ugh, I don't even know what to say, man.
You're not missing much, so.
Yeah, Cursed was bad, but I gotta admit, I didn't hate watching it. I hated watching An American Werewolf in Paris. You know,
I feel the same.
Anyways,
Cursed was okay. Yeah.
I mean, it wasn't. Yeah. We'll get to that maybe in our sequel of this tag series. All right. So our next question: the most recent bad horror movie that you have watched. Okay, Coriander. So what do you have for the most recent bad horror movie you've watched?
So I chose Rest Stop.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, how many months ago was it? You know, that I saw this.
I don't know.
I can't quite remember,
4 or 5 months.
Yeah, I don't even really remember much. I just know this movie sucked.
The only thing I can remember from that movie was all the bad decisions that were being made. Yeah. I mean, you've got to suspend disbelief, in movies, but good Lord, this was just really, really bad.
It was awful.
Really was.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Okay, now I'm gonna cheat a little bit, which I can do that because I'm saying I can. But my original answer for this, which is still an answer, was AVPR, Aliens versus Predator Requiem, and we had done that for an episode a while back. And watching the movie to talk about it in an episode, it was bad, man. I was just watching that movie and I was just like, man, this is as bad as I remembered it when it first came out. And that's why I had never seen it again until we did our episode on it. This is just a bad movie. But I do want to throw this out because obviously it's been a few weeks since we originally did this tag. But I want to throw up a new movie, and I know Eric might get a kick out of this. But recently, a bad movie that I've watched, and I had forgotten how bad it was, but I'm just going to put it out there. It was Freddy's Dead, The Final Nightmare. That was just not fun. It's not as bad as AVPR, not at all. But just to be transparent, in recent weeks when we did our episode on Freddy's Dead, I was just like, holy shit. I had forgotten how bad this movie was. I mean, It just was not fun at all. So anyways, that's my little 2 cents. Real quick in the chat. Gorophobe says, sometimes if you try too hard to make a good movie, it turns out bad. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Very true.
Mm-hmm.
Eric says, Rest Stop, awesome poster, boring movie. That's about it. Yes.
Exactly, man.
Yes.
Exactly.
Yes. Yep. Gorophobe says, Joey was in it. Oh my God. Yeah, right? Exactly. Yeah.
And that didn't even help it, man.
Not at all, man. He also says, I've been lucky. It's been a while since I've seen a really bad one. Yeah, good for you, man, because it's no fun when it happens. All right, our next question to move along here. What's the worst part 2 in a horror movie? Worst part 2 for a horror movie. What do you got?
So I picked Trolls 2. I never got into the vegan trolls,
Nice.
Yeah.
All right. Well, mine was pretty easy, and this actually could have been in multiple answers, but usually when I think about worst part 2s or worst sequel, one of the movies that always jumps to the top of my list is The Howling 2. Look, man, I'm gonna tell you what, This movie was bad. It was. I remember watching it, and I was just like hoping, that it could be, somewhat close to the original.
Yeah.
Because the original was a great werewolf movie. We talked about that in our Trinity of 81 for the werewolf
Yeah.
movies.
Yep.
This wasn't even in the same universe. It made no sense. It was
Nope.
weird, but in a bad way. You had
Yeah.
the late great Christopher Lee. He didn't save it at all. I mean, I enjoyed seeing
Yeah.
him, but holy shit, man, he must have been just on set, just waiting for his paycheck so he could get the hell out of Dodge. I mean, this movie was bad.
Yeah.
You had Sybil Danning in it. She didn't save the movie. I mean, seriously, this movie was bad all the way, man. Did you ever see it?
Of course I did. Yeah.
Like, of course I did. Did you think it was bad?
It, you know,
Be careful. Be
after the
careful.
first, no, after the first Howling is like the only good one. After
Right.
that, honestly, it's like, I don't know. I'm all set.
Okay. So you think it was bad, is what I'm getting at.
Yeah. Yeah. It wasn't
Okay.
that great.
All right.
And Christopher Lee, I almost feel bad for him that he was in it.
That he
It's
was
like,
in it.
damn,
Right?
why did
That's
you
what I'm
choose to do
saying.
this?
It was
'Cause-
horrible.
Yeah.
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 Okay. Eric says, I was walking into the theater to watch AVPR. A lady walked into the room having just saw it. She forgot her purse, and she told me this movie was awful. I knew I was in
Oh.
trouble. Right?
Bummer.
He says, Freddy's Dead, or basically Looney Tunes on Elm Street. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about.
I'd rather see Looney
Troll-
Tunes on Elm Street.
Right. Right. He says Troll 2, where the trolls are goblins and they're defeated by unconditional love and a bologna sandwich. Good God, I wish I was making that up.
Yeah.
Gorophobe says,
Yeah.
yep, that's one of those howlings I was talking about. Right? Oh my God, it was so bad. So bad. Eric says, I've actually never seen any Howling movies, which is surprising since I love Joe Dante. You haven't seen the original, The Howling?
Yeah, definitely check out the
Eric,
original.
You got homework, brother. Just like when we
Yeah.
tell Mac to check out a movie, check out The Howling, dude. It was definitely
Yeah.
good.
Mhm.
Gorophobe says, Rest Stop 2. Laugh out loud.
Oh, hell no.
It'd be even
No,
worse.
thank you.
Slasher Fred says, one of the bad horror movies I've seen is a movie called Bats. That movie is like The Birds, but with bats. I've never seen that movie. I've heard of it, though. I've never seen it, though. Cora says, franchise movies have a ton of pressure to do good follow-ups to amazing first films. That's exactly why we
they
picked
do.
this one, because,
Yeah.
it just shows you how the mighty can fall. And there's like 3 or 4 other movies I can think of just like that I could have said as well. Yeah.
Yep.
Eric says, nope, never seen The Howling, but just got the Blu-ray. I'll fix that. Don't worry. Yeah,
Nice.
man, you got to let us know what you think of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, our next question. What is the worst Stephen King movie? What is the worst Stephen King movie? And I have a feeling that a lot of people are going to agree with you on this one, Coriander.
Well, yeah, for me it was Maximum Overdrive. I love the
right.
soundtrack. That's like the only
Yes.
thing that kept me watching this movie was the music. Yeah.
Oh man, that's bad. All right.
That is
For
bad.
me, yeah, it is. For me, this was fairly difficult because, and this may sound bad, but almost all of the Stephen King movies or adaptations I've either loved or at least enjoyed enough that I didn't feel like I was robbed of the time that I put in to watch it. But there's been so many of them, so I had to think back. And I did find one that I really did not enjoy too much at all. Haven't seen it in God knows how long, but it just still stings inside.
Oh,
And that
you're gonna hate
was
when it stings.
Needful Things.
Yeah.
And look, man, this is just one of those movies that just didn't click for me. I haven't seen it in a long time. Maybe I'll do an episode where I'll rewatch it to see if it's still, if I still feel the same way. But for right now, Yeah, that's my answer. Needful things. So
Nice.
yeah. Let's see what we got going on here. Fred says, if you guys ever watched that series, Grim D. Wallace played Monroe's mother. You know, I've never seen the series, but
I
I've
haven't
heard
either.
about it though.
Hmm.
Yeah, and I have heard about it, and I love Dee Wallace. Like
Me too.
she can do no wrong. Yeah.
Right?
Agoraphobe is saying that you'll love the Howling, Eric. Yes, absolutely. And he says the Shining remake. You mean the miniseries? I think he's talking about the miniseries. It was, you know, it was all right. Eric says, I love Maximum Overdrive, but that doesn't mean it's a good movie, right? You know, and I know exactly
I'm
what you
not
mean, Eric,
surprised at
because it,
that, honestly.
right. Well, when we were kids, me and Killian, you know, we were just at a very young age, and we actually, I think we enjoyed watching it because it was a movie that we kind of bonded over with one of my cousins, one of my older cousins. Um, and of course, as time went on and we got older, you know, when I was in my teen years, I realized how bad of a movie it was. I mean,
Oh.
but I will say it's bad in a good way. You know, it's not a movie I revisit much at all nowadays, but it's not a movie that I'm like, geez, I just threw away 2 hours of my time. So if that
Yeah.
explains it any better, you know,
Yeah. The
and it does have
music
a great
made it.
soundtrack, like you said. Yeah. Um, Eric says, you two must have never seen the Langoliers then. I
I
remember,
haven't.
I remember, I remember seeing it. And yeah, I was thinking of maybe that as my answer. But yeah, you know, I just went with needful things. Fred says, if you guys ever watched the movie Firestarter, Emilio Estevez's father, Martin Sheen, appears in it. Yeah, Martin
Yeah.
Sheen had a really nice role in Firestarter. I love Firestarter. As a matter of fact, I can't wait till we get a chance to do that as a review on the channel because that was another movie growing up as a kid. Me and my brother and my cousins really bonded over. And it still holds up. And I do watch Firestarter every once in a while. Good call. Let's see. Goreflip says, I just loved Kubrick so much that the miniseries doesn't measure up. Yeah, I hear you. Yeah, the Kubrick, obviously. I mean, look, you can see behind me. I love the Kubrick version too. So,
Mhm.
okay, Coriander, here we go. And you'll love this one. What is, or I should say, who is the worst
Ah, I
final
almost,
girl?
yeah, I almost hate giving my answer. Jeez. So
Okay,
should I
what you
even?
got?
No.
Eric
Megan.
Eric is getting ready.
I
What was
know.
that?
Megan. Next.
From Friday the 13th, part 6, Jason Lives. All right.
Yep.
Well, we know what's going to be coming. Eric says hashtag justice for Megan.
Yep.
Right.
Nah.
Okay, so for me, this one was fairly easy. I did have a couple I could have chosen, but I wanted to go with something that maybe most people didn't think about. But I chose Texas Chainsaw 3D, and for Daddario's character, it was just really the movie was not very good. So that's kind of what made it worse for me for her. They were supposed to be cousins or whatever. This movie was supposed to take place, you know, whatever amount of years after the original, so they didn't pay attention to any of the sequels and stuff. Now, this was an example of how to do it wrong as opposed to how Halloween 2018 did it right. The timing didn't add up as far as the ages. Like in this movie, Leatherface was like 60 years old, and obviously, you know, she's only like 20 or 25 at best. So how the hell are they? It just didn't add up. It didn't make any sense. She had some
Yeah.
horrible lines in the movie. I mean, it was bad news, man. It really was. Um, let's see, you guys in the chat. Gorephobe says, Rennie, I think her name is from Friday Part 8. Ah, that's so funny you said that.
I don't even want.
You're that it,
Oh
that
man.
is so funny. Coriander, that's funny. No comment. Okay. Yeah, and Eric said her line was "Do your thing, cuz." Yeah, it's like, oh my god. Yeah, that was bad news. Okay, so for our next one, what is the worst
Hmm,
horror remake? What do you got, Coriander? What's the worst horror remake?
I chose The Fog.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Yeah, I didn't enjoy this. I mean, the original, Adrienne Barbeau. I mean, come on. And this just, yeah, man, it was terrible. I didn't like any of
Yeah,
it.
it was. Well, the CGI that they were using was weird. I mean, it wasn't good,
Yeah.
I should say. The
Mm-mm.
characters, they kind of changed the characters a little bit, and they just were
Yeah.
not anywhere near as endearing as the original. And I know some people say, well,
Yeah.
of course, if you always compare it to an original, you have nostalgia for the other movie. And sure, that could be true for some instances, but with this one, this movie was just bad. Even if it
Yeah.
was just done on its own, even if it wasn't a remake, it just was done. It wasn't done well, which is too bad because
Right.
Tom Welling was in it, and at the time when this came out, I was hoping that he would have a nice career in on the big screen, but it didn't pan out. But for me, worst horror remake, I had to go with Black Christmas, the one that just came out. Not the remake from '06, I believe, but this one that just came out. This was bad, man. The trailer
Yeah.
was bad. It gave away everything, and oh, geez, man. It looked horrible. I didn't even watch it. Obviously, I checked out reviews for it and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, it was really bad. The bits and pieces I saw, I mean, seriously, bad stuff. Um, let's see. Fred says, wherever the red dot goes, ya bang. I hear you, man.
Oh shit,
Gorphobe is
man.
saying, last house on the left for worst remake. Ooh, okay. I hear you.
Hmm,
I hear you.
yeah,
Eric
I
says, my
agree.
wife and I saw. Eric says, my wife and I saw The Fog in the theater. She was bored, and I fell asleep. We've never revisited it. What else can I say? Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Fred says, I love the original Fog. That movie is a vengeful story. And he says, are you referring to the 72 original? No, 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 no. We're talking about the remake.
No, the
The
remake.
remake
Yeah,
is not good. Yeah.
not at all.
Yep. Yep. And Gorphobe agrees with that. Absolutely, man. There's no doubt. Okay, we're almost there, guys. Last couple questions we got. So, Coriander, the worst horror villain. The worst horror villain. What do you got?
Yeah. Let me see. The worst horror villain. I have. Oh my God. Um, I can't find it. Oh, the Ginger Dead Man.
All right.
Yeah,
Yes, indeed. Yeah,
that was
it was
terrible.
bad. What was
I
the
mean, I
worst
didn't
thing
even.
about it
That
to
was.
you?
Yeah, that was one movie that I've never finished. So I can't even tell you how it
Yeah.
ends. That's how bad it was.
Wow.
So
Okay.
yeah,
That is pretty bad. Pretty bad. All
yeah,
right.
not a fan.
Um, Gorphobe says the Fog remake sucked too. Yes, it did. And we got Mac. Mac's in the chat saying Nightwatch. What's going on, Mac? What's going on? Cora says the guy in the Wax Museum, the one where Paris Hilton dies, is bad. Yeah, House of Wax. That one wasn't that good either. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Um, Max says I like Gary Busey, but never watched The Ginger Dead Man. Yeah. Yep. I hear
Yeah.
you.
Right.
Eric, Eric says, Ginger Dead Man. Oh, how far Gary Busey had fallen since Buddy Holly and Lethal Weapon, right? Oh,
Oh
man.
man.
True enough. Okay, so for my answer, I thought about this and I wanted to go with something that was, I don't want to say it's controversial, but this is a villain I never got into. He was fairly popular, at least in the beginning, but it definitely went off the rails. Anytime you start to think about going into space or going into the hood or going to
Oh,
friggin'
jeez.
the Bahamas or wherever else he went. It was like, screw you, man. I'm going with Leprechaun.
Yeah.
And I just never got into it. The first movie was okay, you know. I think it was Jennifer Aniston's debut
Yeah,
when
that's the
this movie
only one
was.
I've seen. Yeah.
Yeah, she'll never admit that, but she was in it. But yeah, man, it just got so damn ridiculous after that. And you could tell, uh, at least to me, I think the series was really inspired by Freddie as far as a lot of quips and
Yeah.
zingers and stuff. And maybe that was part of the reason why I didn't get into this series much either, is because at that point when Freddie started to get to, like Eric says, more Looney Tunes,
Mhm.
excuse me, I was kind of checking out. So Leprechaun didn't really do much of anything for me. So that's my choice, no doubt. All right, let's see. Fred says, even though I have never seen it, but the worst movie remake I think is Child's Play. I prefer the one where the doll is possessed by a serial killer. I hear you, man. I hear you.
Mhm.
We got Toronto Freddy in the chat saying, evening, Nightwatch Zone and chat. What's going on, man?
Hey.
What's going on? And Eric says, here comes the rant. Talking about Leprechaun, man. I,
Ooh.
I just, I just had to put it out there. Mac says, no, Night. Mac, are you a fan of the Leprechaun franchise? You can be honest here. We don't mind.
Ah,
Uh,
oh my God.
Freddie says, let's not forget Busey and Silver Bullet. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely.
I enjoyed
Um,
Silver Bullet, and I thought he was pretty good
yeah,
in that movie. Yeah.
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I think he meant it in a positive way because I
I
think most
hope.
people
I
do.
was thinking,
Yeah, yeah. And Max said the same thing. Gary Busey was amazing in Silver Bullet. We all have
yeah.
one of those boozy uncles, right?
Yeah.
Eric, Eric says, Knight almost dropped the F bomb in the original video when discussing Leprechaun. That says something.
Right?
Oh, God. Meg says, I like the first one and the one that takes place in Vegas as far as Leprechaun goes. Yeah, I mean, like I said, the first one
He
was
went to
really the only
Vegas?
one. Man, he went all over the place. He went to Arkansas, he went to Canada, he went to Kazakhstan. He was all over the
Nice.
place, just jumping in and
Damn.
just doing his little quips. And by the way, I love Warwick Davis, who played Leprechaun.
Right.
And so it hurts me to say that I didn't like the movies too much, but I love Warwick
Yeah.
Davis. So
Willow.
Max says,
You gotta love Willow.
yeah, oh, Willow was a highlight,
Yeah,
for his career. Absolutely.
definitely.
Um, Max says, I could do without the hood and outer space. Yeah, and so could the rest of the world, Mac. So could the rest of the world. Okay,
Oh man.
next one we got. What is the worst horror movie mother? The worst horror movie mother. What do you got?
Margaret White.
Uh-huh. All right. From Carrie. Absolutely.
First. You know, it's bad enough Carrie started her period in high school, but the fact that her mother didn't even, warn her or anything, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
that's terrible. And the fact that
Absolutely.
she was a holy roller to
Absolutely.
boot in that prayer closet. I mean, yeah,
Mm,
that poor girl.
yes. Yeah.
I could see why she
Absolutely.
was bullied so much. Yeah.
Right? Oh my gosh. Yes.
Yeah.
Let's see. Freddie says, Nightwatch Zone, totally positive. When I was younger, I mistaked him for Nick Nolte in that film. Yes, yes. Yeah, I know exactly what you're saying. Let's see. Gorfo, I gave up when he went to the hood. I could see where it was going. Right.
Oh, no.
Max says, good choice, Coriander. Good choice. Yeah, it was.
Thank you.
Eric says, the mom from Black Christmas 2006. I'll leave it at that. I said enough about her in my response to this video. Yes, you did. Yes, you did. That was a good choice. But for my choice for worst horror movie mom, There was only one place I could go, and we had talked a lot about the series before we had done this tag. So you got to go back with good old Norma Bates. And
Yep.
look, man, what she put Norma through was ridiculous when we did our review of
Yeah.
Psycho 4, the beginning, and Olivia Hussey portrayed her. And man, she was not only scary, but so damn crazy and cruel. Some of the things that she put Norman through, and you could see
Yeah.
exactly how he turned out the way he turned out. It was just some
Definitely.
really cool stuff. But yeah, Norma Bates for me. That's my answer. Okay, and we've got two more left. So,
Yeah.
worst horror movie franchise. The worst horror movie franchise. All right, let's do it, Coriander. What do you got?
So I chose Ghoulies.
Yeah. Yes, you did.
I never got into the Ghoulies, man. No.
Not at all.
No, man. No.
They seem like second-rate gremlins, to me, or something.
Worse, you know?
Right. Third
It
rate.
was just, yeah, it just wasn't good.
Right. Oh man, that was a good one.
Hmm.
Let's see. Freddie says Amanda Kruger. She turned her back on me. I would have turned out much different if she'd stuck around.
Oh, no.
Good
Right?
one. Good one. Good
Hmm.
one. Max says, "Wow, another great choice, Knight. I wasn't thinking of that one." Right? Yeah, man. Norma Bates, brother. Norma Bates. That's the great thing about doing these tag videos, even for us as we get our answers together. Like there was some that Coriander threw out, and I was like, "Yeah, that's a great answer." So that's what's fun about doing these tag videos. So yeah,
It
definitely,
was
I
fun
love
thinking up the
doing these.
questions, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Eric says Olivia Hussey was great in Psycho 4, and Vera Farmiga was as well in Bates Motel. Absolutely. Yeah, Vera killed it in that TV show. There's no doubt about that.
Hmm.
Fred says Gary Busey is Jake Busey's dad. Yes, he
Yeah, he is.
is.
Yep.
Yes. Toronto Freddy says Rob Zombie's Halloween duology. Uh-oh. Now we're getting into it.
Yeah.
Max says, I've never watched Ghoulies. Oh, wow. Well, I
You're
can't
not
say
missing
I
anything,
recommend it per
so
se.
yeah.
Right.
You can still skip it.
Yeah, right. Eric says, more like fourth rate night talking about Ghoulies. Yeah, I hear you, man. Max says, I was going to say Pamela for spawning Jason, but she was mainly looking out. Right.
Yeah, she
Good one,
was.
man. All right, so for my answer for worst franchise, and it's funny Mac's in here tonight because we got him to watch the first movie in this franchise, which I personally love. You love it too, Coriander, and it is a classic. And Mac enjoyed it too. But the rest of the franchise, two was okay, three it was going off the rails. But this franchise has it's in the teens, I think, of amount of movies because a lot of them are just loosely connected, if at all, or not connected at all. But the name is what connects them all. So I chose the Amityville Horror franchise, and I mean, there's so
Yeah.
many of these movies. I can't even tell you. I really can't. I can't tell you
True.
all the names, the subtitles. I don't
Hmm.
even know it. When I looked it up, I think it was like 18 of them because they would just slap on the word Amityville, like the Amityville dog, you know, and make a movie, you know, and
Yeah.
that's not one of them, by the way. I was
No.
just
Or the
making that
Amityville
up, but that's what I'm
outhouse.
saying.
Avoid that. No, I'm just
I
joking.
mean, seriously. I mean,
Yeah.
so it's just ridiculous how the mighty have fallen because the original movie was so damn good. The sequel was okay,
Yeah.
it wasn't that bad either. But yeah, that franchise. I know Eric was thinking I was going to say another franchise, but this one is actually worse to me because it's just so many of them that aren't good at all. So,
Yeah.
all right. So I think this is the last one. Yeah, this is the last question we've got, guys. what is the worst horror movie kill? What is the worst horror movie kill? Okay, what do you got, Coriander?
So I chose the movie Blood Rage. I mean, that movie.
Okay,
It, what can I
which we
say about
did
that movie?
a review on.
Yeah. I mean, that
Mm-hmm.
The Office when, the guy's on the phone and,
Yes.
you get the killer coming and he's like, I don't know, he's like, trying not to be quiet, opening things, you know what I mean? And the other guy, like, isn't even hearing him and, he's knocking down a
Right.
lamp and he's still, do. I'm just saying it was terrible.
It was bad. The gore of it wasn't too later on when it there was
Yeah.
some decent gore, but yeah, that
Yeah.
kill itself was bad. Absolutely, I agree with you.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see. The Flow Chamber Mac says the stories that took place actually happened. Only the names have been changed. Laugh out loud. That was a good one. Gorfo, there's a new Amityville out now, believe it or not. Holy shit. Wow.
What?
Well, it doesn't surprise
Wow,
me.
that's
It
right.
doesn't surprise me. Oh
Mm.
my God. Slasher Fred says Meg Ryan appeared in one of the sequels. Wow. Mm-mm-mm.
Mm.
All right, let's see.
Mm.
Gorphobe says when they blew up Jason and Jason Goes to Hell, blasphemy. We got a Jason Goes to Hell reference, Eric. You're gonna love that.
Oh man.
Toronto Freddy says, nah, the worst horror movie franchise, I use the word lightly, is Camp Blood. I can't believe there's 9 of those POSs. Wow.
Mm.
Yeah, I haven't seen them.
I haven't either.
Yeah. But for my worst kill, I'm actually going to pick a movie that I absolutely love. And when we did our top 10 of 70s horror movies, this was a high on my list. It's high on my list for any type of movie I've ever seen. But there was a really bad kill in it, man. And I'm going with George Romero's Dawn of the Dead. The scene early in the movie when the SWAT team goes into the building to kind of take care of the situation with the zombies. And there's that scene where Willie opens up the door and he shoots a guy, blasts his head off, clean off. That part of it was okay, the explosion. But when you see the guy, you can see that it's a fake head. It looks really bad. It looks, put it this way, when I saw this movie as a kid, I was a little kid when I first saw Dawn of the Dead. I said, wait a minute, what the hell? I was like, that looks horrible as a little kid. So that always stuck with me
Wow.
because everything else in the film is great.
Yeah.
A lot of the makeup effects and stuff is so good, still holds up after 40 something years. But even Tom Savini said that there were a lot of things that, he wished he could have redone with the effects that happened. And he really went to town in the next movie, which was Day of the Dead, and really tried to perfect, his idea of a zombie apocalypse and the effects. So yeah, Dawn of the Dead, that scene where the guy's head gets blown off, whew, that was just bad, man. I mean, I want someone to tell me that it looked good. So, anyways,
I wish I could.
back in the chat. I think Goraphobe mistook the word blasphemy for awesome. Talking about Jason Goes to Hell, man. Oh God. And we got Collector Man in the chat. What's going on, Tristan? Nice to see you. Saying hello. So nice to see both of you. Thank you so much, man. We appreciate that. Nice to have you stopping through. Thank you so much. Max says, no, not Dawn of the Dead. Look, man, I'm just saying, I absolutely just that scene. Yeah. And even Tom Savini, was upset with how some of the things turned out. But I absolutely adore the movie. But that scene was a bad kill. So Junebug is in the chat. What's going on, man? Nice. Saying, I'm probably going to go with worst kill. Jason Takes Manhattan, when Jason just chokes the girl when there's a disco ball right there. I know what you're talking about, Kelly. Oh man, yeah, that was a rough one. Killian doesn't like
Yeah,
that
that
one either.
movie. Yeah.
Yeah. Max says we got to make exceptions, Night. Well, I'll tell the truth, Mac. Now you know what I'm talking about. Did that kill look good to you, man? I mean, the head explosion was fine, but the camera, when Willie opens the door, you see the guy standing there, plain as day, for at least a good second before Willie shoots him with the shotgun, and you could just tell that head is so fake. I mean, it doesn't look good whatsoever, man. It's
Oh,
bad.
man.
Gorephobe says, "Bad body, nice explosion." Right?
Yeah.
Yes. Eric says, a great movie with a bad kill. The original Nightmare on Elm Street, when Mrs. Thompson is pulled through the window of the front door. It's basically a blow up doll getting pulled through. Yeah, that was bad. But I will say this, Eric, and this was one thing that they talked a lot about on the documentary, which I do agree. The one reason why you can almost see it work is because the whole idea of Freddy and the dream world is everything is like fantastical. So that actually didn't bother me that much when I saw it as a kid. And I was a young kid when I saw the original Nightmare as well. I mean, I knew it looked fake, but because just like when Freddy's arms are extended when he's first seen with Tina in the alleyway, I mean, that looks fake too. But again, because you're talking about a fantastical
Dream.
dream,
Yeah.
you buy
Anything's
it,
possible.
so
Right?
but yeah, it did look really, really bad, man. Toronto Freddy said Freddy's death in the final Nightmare is absolutely laughable. I hear you. Cora says, I gotta head out of here. Great stream. Talk to you later. Thanks a lot for stopping by, Cora. Thank you very much. Give our best to Frank and Jeremy, and we'll be checking you guys out at the Harsh Truth. All right. Let's see. Gorephobe says that Craven didn't want that ending. No, not at all. And when we did our Nightmare on Elm Street episode, we talked a little bit about that. He kind of did that because Bob Shea wanted a stinger at the end of the movie. And since Bob Shea was one of the only producers with New Line that backed up Wes Craven, he kind of said, okay, well, we'll put a stinger at it so you can get your sequel. And so, yeah, that's kind of how it happened. Eric says, I appreciate you trying to find good in that scene, Night, but it's still a blow up doll. Laugh out loud. Yes, it's true. Max says, I feel you. I always thought that scene was more humorous than groundbreaking for sure, Night. I hear you, man. I hear you. And Gorpho said, he supplied the cash. Yeah, good old Bob Shea, man.
Yep.
So anyways, guys, those are our 10 questions that we went through. We did have some folks that did the challenge, like Eric and Triv from Trivia Theater, David from David's Horror, and it might have been someone else. I can't think of offhand right now, but definitely anyone watching this, especially for you content creators, if you would like to do this, please feel free to. We'd love it if you could. It definitely will help out the channel. So we'll see what happens. And if you do join in on this tag, please let me know so that I can put all of the videos together in a playlist for people to enjoy. Because it is fun. It is fun doing these. And I've enjoyed watching all these tags from all the different people that have done them. So anyways, guys, we appreciate it. Hope you can give us a like to help the video. Share it with anyone you can think of on your social medias. And if you're not subscribed to Nightwatch Zone, please do so and pass on the word. Obviously, we're trying to get back on track. It is going to be a long process, but hey, you got to start somewhere. Max says, I'm going to rewatch this from the beginning. This was fun as late as I joined in. Nice. Gorephobe says, how do you do it? Meaning the tag? If that's what you're meaning, just basically answering the questions. I'm actually going to, and that's another thing too, I'm going to put the questions in the description down below, probably within the next hour, and also tag out some other channels that I'd love to see do this. Some channels like the J-Man's Movie Cave, Good Real Hunting, Triple Feature, Special Features, 13 Originals, The Trash Picture Show, Trenchy, Mac, if you'd like to do it, please feel free to. Again, no pressure, but yeah, definitely feel free to. So yeah, Agoraphobe, that's how you do it. Just do an episode, on your channel and just answering the questions with your own answers. And that's pretty much it. But just try to make sure that you have our link to this video in your description so folks can see our video as well. That's why we started this tag, to hopefully have a chance to reach more folks, and plus to do something creative, because we had seen a lot of tags and I was thinking, well, let's do something that's a little bit different. So instead of talking about movies that you love, we decided to talk about movies that you may not love. So that's what we did. Gorphobe says, I'm new to this kind of thing. I hear you. But yeah, just going through the 10 questions we went through, and but yeah, you can, definitely, you can get in touch with me and I can help you with the steps to it. No problem at all. Yeah, no problem, man. But we definitely appreciate the support. So it's much appreciated. Max says, yeah, I broke my uploading bubble the other day. I played Friday the 13th on Xbox for anyone who's interested, but I need to clean up my language for sure.
I did see that.
Yep. Eric says, you saw him playing Friday the 13th, you mean?
I did, yeah.
Oh.
It was only for a brief minute. It wasn't long, yeah.
Oh. Eric says, I love doing this tag. You guys actually got me to rant. Yeah, that's the fun of it, man. That's the fun of it, man. So anyways, guys, please give the video a like. We will catch you guys tomorrow night. We've got another episode that we're really excited about doing, so watch out for that. We'll catch you guys soon. If you're watching this, if you're listening to this, you are the Nightwatch. Peace out, guys.
Up tits.